the growth of the bone. And the growth hormone actually, thyroid hormone actually stimulates the growth hormone. So it doesn't work directly, but increases the activity of the growth hormone. So growth hormone works directly on the bones. Thyroid hormone stimulates the growth hormone to work more. Okay? So these are two hormones. And a chemical that is called vitamin D. Vitamin D. That also helps in the growth of the bone, formation of the matrix, which is the main chemical in the matrix. Main mineral, calcium, right? So vitamin D helps by depositing the calcium in the bone. So the matrix is formed. So these are three things that help in the growth of the bone. Now, you tell me, if the growth hormone secretion is less than normal during the growth of your body, during the early part of your life, when the body grows, if growth hormone secretion is less than normal, then what will happen? The person will not grow enough. The body will not grow enough, right? So what will happen? Person will remain big or short? Short. Do you understand what I said? Look at me. During the growth of your body, when your body is growing, if growth hormone secretion is less than normal,
then you won't grow.
You won't grow. Make sense? So you will remain what? Big or
Short.
short? And that is called dwarfism. Have you heard this word? Dwarfism? Okay. So decrease growth hormone secretion when? During the growth of the body. If it happens after your body growth is completed, then it will not cause dwarfism. Make sense? Okay, so that is decreased growth hormone secretion during the early part of your life. That will cause what? What? Dwarfism. Did you get it? Now, if growth hormone secretion is more than normal during the growth of the body will grow fast, right? Quickly. The person will get big. That is called what? You all know that. Yeah.
Giant. Yeah.
Gigantism, also called giantism. Make sense? Same thing. Okay? So the person will be huge. Yeah.
Okay, so are those two genetic?
It could be genetic, or it could be due to sometimes it could be due to tumor in the gland, pituitary gland that secretes the growth hormone, or any change in the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland secretes the growth hormone. Okay, so if the gland is not functioning, that can happen. But genetic factor is also involved.
So what happens if like a child is malnourished? Will they still not grow? Would that still be healed?
That is not directly related to the growth hormone secretion. That is due to less synthesis of protein. You are not getting protein-rich food, right? So, although the hormone secretion is occurring, the materials are not there, right? When you build something, you need the material, right? So, if you cannot supply the material, then even the hormone is there, will not be able to, body will not be able to,
But they would not be dwarfs.
They won't be short.
They'd just be short.
Yeah, they will be short type person, but not like, dwarf. Dwarfism is different, yes.
Does dwarfism happen in the womb, or is it after the baby's born? Then he develops it.
Second,
Like, do you have dwarfism in the womb? Like, it's from the early stages of development. Do you have dwarfism, or is it after you're born?
no, it is not early, very early part of your life. It's when the body is growing, right? Every day, the growth hormone secretion is occurring all the time, right? So your body is proportionately growing. right? So it's not like during the very early part of your life, until the puberty, okay, when the body is growing, okay? Yeah, but around the puberty, when the body suddenly grows, during that time, not only growth hormone, the sex hormone, testosterone, that also stimulates the growth. Okay? So testosterone or estrogen, those hormones, sex hormones, are also responsible for the growth of the body. Okay? Oh, it is here, you see. So sex hormone, that's why during puberty, suddenly the body grows when the sex hormone release occurs. Okay? So also sex hormones. Okay? Stimulate the growth. Okay, so these are the hormones help in the growth of the bones. Now the problem of dwarfism and giantism. In dwarfism, the organs may not, grow enough. So the function may not be normal. In giantism also is a problem. What is the problem in giantism? The organs get big too, not only the bones. Soft tissue organs also grow bigger, okay? Because growth hormone works on all the tissues of the body. So the person's heart will be big, right? Liver will be big, so those organs will be big. Big doesn't mean good. Okay? Normal size is good, right? So big does not mean it is good. So the function would be malfunction or less function will be in those organs. As well as the giantism patient, almost all of them suffer from diabetes mellitus. This is very common. Happens in every case, okay? And the lifespan of a person, giant person, is much shorter than normal person's lifespan, okay? Because the organs are big, as well as diabetes mellitus. Diabetes is common, and that also, causes other complications in the body. So they usually have shorter lifespan. Okay. Hormones that regulate the calcium in the blood. Two hormones are very important. One is called parathyroid hormone, or PTH. PTH stimulates the osteoclasts. Now you tell me, he mentioned before, osteoclasts are what type of bone cells? Giant. And they love to destroy the matrix. And matrix is filled with calcium, right? So see here, parathyroid hormone comes from parathyroid gland. Parathyroid glands secrete parathyroid hormone that goes to the bone and stimulates the osteoclasts. So osteoclasts will do what? Break the matrix. To release the calcium from the matrix. Make sense? And this calcium will enter into the blood and will increase the blood calcium. Make sense? Blood calcium. From the bone, it will go to the blood. Okay? So blood calcium will go up. Another hormone that is called calcitonin. This one comes from thyroid, not parathyroid, thyroid gland. And this works just opposite, inhibits osteoclast activity. Okay? Tell the osteoclasts, come down. Sleep, okay? You don't have to work, okay? So osteoclast will not do anything. Make sense? will not break the matrix, calcium will not come out from the bone, so that way the blood calcium will remain low. Make sense? So stop the matrix release of calcium, so decrease the blood calcium. So opposite way these two hormones work. Parathyroid increases the blood calcium, calcitonin lowers the blood calcium. Make sense? This one comes from parathyroid gland, this one comes from thyroid gland. Okay? Now, when this one should be released more? If your blood has more or less calcium? When this one should be released more? This one does what? Increases, right? So when this one should be released? When your blood calcium goes down. Make sense? To increase it. This one lowers the blood calcium, right? So this one should be released if the blood calcium tends to go up. Make sense? Now, what is the concentration of calcium in your blood? It is 9 to 11 milligram per 100 milliliter of blood. And the calcium concentration must be within this narrow range. Blood calcium must be between what?
9 and 11.
9 and 11.
What if
Okay.
it's not? What if it's not?
If the concentration is below 9, that is called what? Hypocalcemia. Have you heard that? Hypo means less, right? Hypocalcemia. If it is more than 11, that is called hypercalcemia. And both could be dangerous. That's why I said that calcium must be within that range, 9 to 11. Make sense? Hypocalcemia is dangerous. That will cause muscle paralysis, that your muscles will not be able to contract. You will not be able to breathe if respiratory muscles fail, right? You won't be able to move. So that is, a serious consequence. If hypercalcemia occurs, calcium is more, that also causes problem. That will form stones in different areas like in the gallbladder or kidneys. That will cause tetany, convulsion of the muscles. Okay? So both are dangerous, could be dangerous. So that's why it is very important that the calcium is maintained. Now, parathyroid hormone also works on two other organs. This is the main action on the bones, right? But parathyroid hormone also works on the kidneys and intestine. The goal is same, increasing the blood calcium. So now you tell me, if I ask you a simple question. Parathyroid hormone increases the calcium in the blood. You know that, right? Now, what the parathyroid hormone should do on the kidneys? I will give you two options, okay? You will tell me. Should parathyroid hormone tell the kidneys to excrete calcium with urine or preserve calcium in the body, to increase in the body? To increase in the body, parathyroid hormone should tell the kidneys to excrete through the urine or keep it. Keep it, makes sense? If it gets out, then the calcium will go further down. Make sense? So, parathyroid hormone will tell the kidneys not to excrete calcium through the urine. Is it clear? So calcium will stay in the body. So that is called calcium retention. Retention of calcium. Calcium, okay? Not excretion, opposite of excretion. Make sense? In the intestine, parathyroid hormone activates vitamin D. Vitamin D. And vitamin D increases absorption of calcium from the food you eat. Increase absorption of calcium from the food you eat. So this is very simple. Just think that vitamin D absorption means what? Taking the calcium into the blood from the food you are eating in the intestine. Okay? So parathyroid hormone will activate the vitamin D, and vitamin D increases the absorption of calcium from the food you eat. So blood calcium will go up. If more absorption occurs in the intestine, blood will get more calcium. Okay? If absorption doesn't occur, it will get out from the body. Is it clear? Okay. So parathyroid hormone mainly works on the bones, but also works on the kidneys and intestine through vitamin D. Okay? So those are three ways parathyroid hormone increase the calcium in the blood. Okay? Very important hormone. Okay. Calcium is very important, and some important functions of calcium are here. Transmission of nerve signal, electrical signal transmission. You remember? That is helped by calcium. Muscle contraction, I already mentioned. Blood coagulation, which is blood clot formation. Without calcium, blood clots will not occur. Is it clear? No blood clot will be formed without calcium. Secretion from the glands and nerves. What happens? This is a gland and this is a nerve ending. Inside the gland, you have vesicles. Inside the nerve ending, you have vesicles. So this is a gland and this is a nerve ending. And these are the vesicles filled with hormones or chemicals. So calcium does what? Calcium enters into the gland or into the nerve terminal and causes the rupture of the vesicles, breakdown of the vesicles that will release the hormone, will rupture the vesicles. Okay? So that's how the calcium causes secretion from the gland and nerve. Another function is cell division. So those are few important functions of calcium. Okay? See here 9 to 11 milligram. That's the concentration. Fracture of the bones. There are different types of fractures. We name the fracture by looking mainly by looking at three things. One is by location, by external appearance, how it looks like, and the nature of break. I'll go over a few important fractures. One is a common type of fracture. This one, you see here, this is called comminuted fracture. This happens more in older people, old age people. And the nature of fracture here, you see, it is not a single fracture, multiple fracture in same location. Make sense? So multiple fracture in same location occurs mostly in the older people. Okay? Because the bone is very weak, I told you. Compression type fracture, this occurs due to vertical pressure. Like, you know, if you jump from height, you know that body weight is transmitted by the vertebral column, right? And the body of vertebrae will get pressure this way, right? So the compressed type fracture. Spiral, a single fracture but oblique, not transverse. Single oblique fracture. That is called spiral fracture. Make sense? And it occurs due to twisting pressure. If you twist the bone this way, that will cause that kind of fracture. epiphyseal fracture. How many of you remember epiphyseal fracture I mentioned when I talked about the ossification? That epiphyseal plate, remember that? The growth plate shrinks and remains as a thin plate of cartilage, right? That is the epiphyseal plate, which is a weak point. So fracture occurs here. That is called epiphyseal fracture. Depressed type fracture. If you see the broken piece of bone or pieces of bones go inwards, that is called depressed fracture. Like if something hits your skull, right? The skull broken piece will go towards the brain, right? Inwards. So that is depressed type fracture. Green stick type fracture. This happens mostly in young children. What happens, you know that bone is more flexible in younger kids. So it will not break completely. You see here, this is the main break, and from the main break, you'll see branches like this. So this is called the green stick type fracture. Mostly occurs in younger kids. So those are some common types of fracture we see. Healing of the fracture. After the fracture, how the healing or repairing occurs. Few steps, just remember. You know that bones are vascular. You remember bones have blood vessels, right? So when fracture occurs, rupture of the blood vessels occur, right? In the bone. So bleeding will occur. Accumulation of blood will occur in that area. And that is called hematoma. So accumulation of what? Blood due to the rupture of the blood vessels inside the bones, right? So that is called hematoma. So we see hematoma and a lot of blood there. The next what happens, this gap is filled by fibrocartilaginous tissue, soft bone tissue, fibrocartilaginous callus, okay, that fills that gap roughly, just will fill. It's like, you know, when